Is it worth it to work an extra couple of years to increase your Social Security? That's what we're going to talk about here today. We're going to show you some numbers where we add it to your Social Security. We're going to see if it actually is worth it to keep going just to bump up your Social Security. So welcome to the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel, my friends, the place you come to learn all spreadsheet action when it comes to Social Security, investment planning, estate planning, retirement taxes, the whole thing. Spreadsheets. So we love them. And let's dive right into this because I think it's pretty interesting, actually. So remember how Social Security works. All right. So we go back, and this is directly from the Social Security website right here, these numbers here. And we have our average, our index. All right. So basically 1978, if you made $9,800, they were going to index that by 4.608, i.e. we're going to inflate it. And that means in today's dollars, it's worth $45,481 in Social Security numbers. If you made $17,700 in 1978, that was the max, and that's the equivalent of $74,317 today. Again, that is the max, and the max that you paid into Social Security at that point. Today, that is not the max you pay in today, but that max you paid into Social Security in 1978 was in today's dollars roughly $75,000. And you can see how this works. So here's the max in this line item. And if we go to 1980, it is $25,900. The max you paid into Social Security in today's dollars was $91,736. At least the maximum amount of income that was subject to taxation, let's put it that way. And then if you only made $11,774, they indexed it by 3.8872, and that was your adjusted dollars for today, your average indexed or your indexed dollars. And then you can keep going down, and you see we have ones here. So once you hit 60, they no longer give you any indexing. They just give you a one there. So if you made $50,931, your indexing is $50,931. If you made $53,880, your indexed is $50,880. All right. So I hope that makes sense. So, these are all numbers directly from the Social Security Administration website. You know for a fact, whatever the amount you made in 1988 was, you times that by 2.5159, and that will give you your calculation that Social Security uses to give you part of your benefit. All right, so let's go to our, we have just a regular person. We'll call her Sue. All right, so we have Sue here. We usually say Jane, but I want to have a different name. And Sue did these calculators from not this one right here, but other calculators for me, which I'm going to dive into in a different episode that were just wonderful. So we'll just say this is Sue. In 1978, she was 27 years old, and she made $5,000 in that and that income in 1978, $1978. And today's dollars is $23,000. So let's just say she just graduated college, was graduate assistant. I have no idea what they get paid, but I imagine it's not much. And so she made basically that's the equivalent of a little bit more than $10 an hour in today's numbers. And then we're going to say every year she increased her income by $1,000 all the way up until here at 62. All right. So now she's saying, Josh, I'm 62. I'm tired of this graduate assistant work where I'm only getting on average, $43,000 essentially each and every year is my average pay. I'm just tired of it. So I'm thinking about calling it a career and retiring. I want to see how much Social Security I get. And so what we do is we take the top 35 of her earnings years. All right. And that will be, she only has 62 minus 20. So that's 35 right there. So we take her 35 years of earnings. We adjust them with these indexing for inflation, and then we add them up. And right here, we get $1.392 million as her average, or as her total indexed earnings. All right. So again, she made $5,019, whatever year that 27 years ago, 1978 is worth $23,000 today. All right. In 1987, she made $14,000, it's worth $36,000 today, and you get it. All right. So we add all those puppies up, and we're going to say, Sue, your total indexed earnings is $1.392 million. We divide that by 420, so your average index monthly earnings is $3,315. We take that number and we got to figure out your PIA, your primary insurance amount. So we take that number 3313, it populates here. The first $895, you will get 90 cents on the dollar as a Social Security benefit. The next amount, you'll get 32 cents on the dollar as a Social Security benefit. So your total PIA is going to be $1,579, $1,579. Getting pretty close when we get my calculator to roughly That's going to be $1,579 times 12. That's right about $19,000 a year. All right, so that's what she's going to get for Social Security. But remember, this is at her full retirement age, and she's only 62. So if she were to take her PIA, if she were to take Social Security early, we'd have to take her PIA equals this, divide by, or in this case, just times by 0.75. And so we'd say you're only going to, oops, what happened here? We got to do that. Oops, and we don't need that. Screw that one up. So let's do this. We'll take, stop that. We're going to go Krakow. All right. So we're going to go Krakow equals this times 0.75. All right. And so she'll get basically $1,200 a month. And that's not going to get you far. I mean, that's $14,000 a year. And assuming we're going back to the calculator we just ran earlier today in the other episode of how much a single person needs to retire, and we're using 40,000 as a threshold, that's not going to get the job done. So we're going to say, yeah, we don't think you should take Social Security, because if you do it now, you're only going to get, your PIA is only $1,579, in which you get a reduced benefit only be $1,184. So let's not do that. And she goes, all right. I say, Sue, can you hang in, work for a couple extra years at work, say 4 more years? Can you do that? She's like, all right, Josh, let's see. So what we do is we're going to say, let's see what happens if you work 4 extra years. And now we're going to get, we got to do a couple things here. We got to reduce, we got to hit sum here, and we're going to go up to the last. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we got to go right here. We're going to sum because we're not going to get an income for these top 5 years. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not doing that. So we should be starting at, that's going to be at N10. So it should start at N10. Let's see. And N10. Okay, good. Well, let's see. Is that 35, 40? Yeah, N10. That's N44. We might need 1 more year. So let's add this here. So we're going to go to N9 because that's not quite 35 and 9. Okay, good. So now we got her total index earnings is 1.4 million because she worked a couple extra years. She worked 4 more extra years from 63, 64, 65, and 66. And now her AIME is 3478, which means her PIA is $1,693. And that, again, that's the amount she'll get at her full retirement age, 1,361, 1,631 times 12. And that gives her right at $19,572. All right. So $19,572 now. And before is right at 19,000. All right. So she's going to make, retire at 62. All right. So she's going to net an extra $572 a year. That doesn't seem like a good, that just doesn't seem worth it to me. Now, again, that will be, this right here is delayed earnings. In terms of her taking it as an early benefit at 62, but now she's 66. It won't be any early benefit because she's taking it at 66, not 62. So, I mean, that just doesn't, there's no there. I mean, just to work an extra 4 years at roughly 40, $2,000 a year, that's just not going to give you enough benefit to, it just is not worth it. I mean, here's literally an extra $500 a year. I mean, that's $40 a month. No. All right. But now let's just say her boss really wanted her to stay, and he's I need you to stay, Sue, so I'll double your money. And let's say we're going to say double to 81. All right. So let's do this. Now we're going to double your money, Sue. And now your PIA is 3854, which means your primary insurance amount is $1,752 times 12, and that gives you a benefit of, with pay raise, of $2,102.24. So that gives you all of minus 19,572. that gives you all of $1,400 more a year. Man, yeesh. You see where that, I mean, I hate to say it, but it just is, I don't know, is that worth it to work an extra 4 years to get another $1,452 a year? I just don't see it. I mean, the issue is, I mean, here's the fact. I mean, we can even go up. Let's do this. Let's just say she gets the max. We'll say 115, 116, 117, and 1118. I mean, it's not going to happen. We'll just say it did. All right. So now she has a PIA or AIME of 4193, a PIA of 1860, and it's 22 with that a huge pay raise is 22,320. I just, there's not, I mean, for all the extra effort and work, she's going to make, again, another couple $1,000 a year. That's it. $1,000 a year, my friends, a year for an extra 40 hours a week. You know, that's 2,080 hours. I mean, that's, you just can't, I just don't, 2,080 hours a year times 4, because a full work week of 40 hours a week is 2,080 hours. I mean, that's an extra almost 9,000 hours she's put in over the course of those 4 years to gain an extra, $1,500 or so a year in Social Security. I mean, what happens is these earnings, great earnings years, are being dwarfed from all these not so great earnings years. It's just a fact. I mean, and that's just a fact. And so going back to the other thing where we talked about, I think I still have it on pension. We had an income need of 40,000 and Social Security of 20,000. Well, if we're Sue and we are only averaging about 40,000 a year of income, that we have to have 20,000 come from someplace else, because Social Security is really nothing you can do in this stage. There's nothing you can do to get your Social Security looking any better. I mean, a couple thousand a year better. I mean, but I hate to say, it's not going to get the job done. So let's just go back here and redo this to make it for the whole 35 years that we have. Boink. It's click on that guy. All right. So again, we're back to a PIA of 1579 if she takes it at 66, or 1184 if she takes it at 62. Either way is not good. I mean, so this is what I'm talking about. Here's a critical years for you, basically between 45 roughly when you start making some money, and basically between 55. These are the years that you need to be piling on some money for sure. So let's just say in these years we had her making 80,000 a year. I'm just going to throw numbers out there, 80,000 a year, and we'll just increase that by 1,000 each year. So let's just look at this now. Say she got it. I don't know. She was going to quit this year as a graduate assistant, and her teaching professor, however it works, says, no, I need you to stay. And he quadrupled her money. And so now she's making, only gave me 80,000. I want to do 80. Oh, it didn't give me an increase. Blink. 81,000. All right, let's do this. Blink. And so we're going to come down here and we're going to say she's making a lot more money now for the last 15 years. So basically her first, 15, 20 years or so, she wasn't making that much. And then the next 15 years, she's making a lot. So let's see how that changes things. And here, look, we got a PIA or AIME of 6,682, which is actually going to give us a PIA. We got to change this around a little bit because the next amount is, so let's see, it's 5,3. Bear with me just 1 second, my friends. 586 minus 5,379. 407 here, so it's going to be 5,3,407 here, crack, and we got 5,379 minus 895,4484. Okay, just gotta get my numbers right. So basically, here she has a PIA of $2,300 because she got the significant pay raise. But even that pay raise, it increases her primary insurance amount. But even that only increases it by, I mean, we're talking it's 2,300, 1 times 12. It's 27,000 a year. So this will give us 27,000 a year, $27,612 of income, which is, substantially higher. Don't get me wrong. That's 8,000 more than what she was making there, almost 9,000 more. So that's, 40% increase. But again, the issue is when you have low income in some years, it really hurts you for quite a bit here in terms of having high income in the back end. Now, what I would suggest for Sue here is to say, look, just keep working if we really want to bump that up. So now what's going to happen is we're going to get rid of the last, we just go to 9 right here. Bear with me just 1 second, my friends. There we go. All right, so now, because we're getting rid of 4 of these, the low earning years and replace with high earning years, is going to increase our monthly, quite a bit, 7,395. And that's going to be 7,395 minus 395 minus 5,397. Bear with me just a second, 1998, 1998. And that's going to give us 2,500 as a PIA, which 2,540. 2540 times 12, it's going to give us 30,480. So about 480. All right. So a couple things happening here. She says she's 62. She wants to hang it up after these good years. I said, man, I wish you wouldn't, because if you do, you're going to get $27,612 a year in Social Security, because you're going to leave a couple of the bad earning years on the record and you're going to replace it with zeros, because remember, she's not working in 63, 64, 65, or 66. And I'm not even talking about taking a reduced benefit here either. I'm just saying at the end of the day, we're replacing big earnings records of these 4 years with zeros. And those zeros are going to be basically make these ones up here take over. And that's just, we just don't want that. If we can avoid that, if we want. And the way to do that is to keep working. But then she goes, well, Josh, at the end of the day, if I keep working, I'm only going to make $30,480 in Social Security. That's not even $3,000 more a year for working this crappy old job I don't like. And I can't argue there. I say, you're right. You're going to work an extra 4 years at some crappy old job you don't like to get an extra $2,500 a year in Social Security. That's the problem. I mean, it just goes to show you how Social Security is just not the panacea for a lot. Now, at the end of the day, remember, she needed $40,000 a year of income. It's a whole lot easier to get $10,000 from your portfolio than $20,000 if you have $30,000 coming from Social Security. That's a fact. But that's a tough one there. She's 62, and she goes, what do I do now? And what you need to be doing is just running these numbers and just going over and say, is it worth it to stay at these crappy old jobs to get an extra $2,500 a year? And I just don't see it is. I don't now. We got to find out how much the income needed. So Sue needs $40,000 and we're getting $27,000 from Social Security. That means you only need $12,400 from her portfolio. On the other hand, if we go back here and Sue's needs $20,400 and what's that, 28 from from her portfolio, because she's only getting $19,000 from Social Security. That's a change. It's a big change. I mean, it's a lot more money the portfolio's got to supply than it does here. And, given the portfolio is volatile, given the markets aren't trading cheaply, it's just more of a risk. It's just no getting around that. So is it more of a risk to stay working some crappy old job for 4 more years to reduce the stress on your portfolio? You got to quantify that in your emotionally. And I don't know the answer to that. Is it more of a risk to quit your job and enjoy being out backdoor gardener, selling, you're raising chickens and selling eggs for, $10 an hour, 5 hours a week or something. I don't know. But now your portfolio is going to have to supply the rest of the portfolio of the income that you have. That's a tough question, but it's got to be addressed. And there's no easy way to address this. If you stop working at 62 and you take Social Security, you're going to reduce your income from Social Security, bar none. If you stop working at 62 and take Social Security at 66, you're also going to get a reduced income. But it won't be as bad because you're not getting early penalties on Social Security. I mean, because remember, at 62, you reduce it by 25%, but you're still going to have zeros here where we'd much rather have an income. But what if you're 64 years old and then you have terminal cancer and you're like, man, I should have enjoyed these 2. You see what I'm saying? I could have enjoyed. There's just no answer for this. I could have enjoyed the 2 years of retirement that I had and gone traveling around the world with my friends. Whatever it is, there's no right or wrong. But it is something that needs to be considered. At 62, should I stay at 66? Because I will get more in Social Security. That is a fact. I will get more in Social Security, but it's not going to be that much more because these 3 or 4 more earnings years are going to be dwarfed by these other 30 years that you didn't make so much money. It's just all there is to it. Now, again, it's better than nothing, but to work 2,080 hours times 4 to get an extra $2,000 a year. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. So anyway, I just want to run those numbers. Hope this is informative to you. It's a tough challenge. It's a tough challenge, and there's no right answer. I just know that at the end of the day, if your portfolio isn't big enough to sustain 20, 21,000 of income over the course of another 20, 30 years, I think the answer right there has got to be you got to keep working. Just because your portfolio, if it goes kaput and all's now you're relying on Social Security, but now you're 83 years old, that's a whole different can of worms there in terms of what are you going to do? It's not as easy to continue to work at 83 as it was when you're 63, already well ingrained in your employment. It's just not. So anyway, comments are always welcome, my friends. Comments. Thumbs up for sure. Don't forget to subscribe and then go to the blog at heritagewealthplanning.com, heritagewealthplanning.com. You should be seeing a new design here pretty soon from my man Dave out in Pennsylvania. New design on the website. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So we'll see you next time on the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.